During All-Star Weekend, Caitlin Clark joins Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe for a live episode of A Touch More. And let's just say that Caitlin Clark does not hold back on dishing.
Caitlin Clark just dropped some big tea on Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's podcast. And let's be real, she didn't hold back. From divulging what Taylor Swift whispered in her ear to laughing at herself over that iconic silly look, the whole conversation was a joy. Clark talked out about all the events that have had the internet buzzing. So, which Caitlin Clark viral moment lives rent-free in your head?
From just a few states over, she loves a good Cheez-It and will wash it down with some swig. She loves Scrabble, outdoor concerts at the Ruoff, and golfing at Crooked Stick. She's every ref's favorite. And she dresses like a CEO because she's a boss. Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark.
Drop it in the comments. So here's the thing about Caitlin Clark. She has this way of taking the spotlight without even trying. All-Star Weekend rolls around, and she steps into Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's A Touch More podcast, only to get comically attacked from the get-go. The intro, full-on dramatic Bulls-era entrance music. Then, with straight faces, they crown her every ref's favorite player. A thorough roast. Classic, fun, and pointed. But Clark? She takes it all in stride, grinning through it. The energy? It was perfect. Casual, hilarious, and entirely uninhibited. What followed was just an hour of constant jabs and laughing. Like three old friends who knew precisely how to press one another's buttons. And in the middle of all that banter, they somehow
bring something into Caitlin's ear, and they have like a dialogue back and forth. Plenty of people were wondering what was actually said, what could be said between these two giant stars. And Megan Rapinoe just bluntly, flat out asks her, and she says, "Don't lie."
What were you actually
dropped
saying?
A couple behind-the-scenes gems, moments we never expected to hear, but couldn't stop reliving. It wasn't just a podcast; it was a vibe, and we got the full ride. Let's start with the Taylor Swift moment, because come on, that's what everyone wanted to know. You remember that viral clip of Swift bending in, whispering something to Clark during that Chiefs playoff game. The internet lost its mind attempting to decode it. What could two icons possibly be speaking about in the middle of all that chaos? Well, Megan Rapinoe simply came right out and asked, no fluff, no build-up. And Clark's answer? So normal it almost felt like a letdown. Turns out, she was effectively Taylor's own football analyst, explaining why flags were thrown, analyzing down plays, just full-on football nerd mode. Because yes, even Taylor Swift, who's literally dating one of the NFL's biggest stars, still needs help following the action. And Clark, being the hardcore Chiefs fan that she is, was perfectly in her element. Wild, right? Sitting beside one of the world's biggest pop sensations, casually translating the game like it's no big
15-minute timeout if you got a yellow card.
That's ridiculous.
They're like, yeah, go to the bench for 15 minutes. I'm like, it's like a timeout, like you're 10. Like,
Was there orange slices there?
No, there's not. That sucks.
Yeah, 15-minute
Yeah,
timeout.
I had an innumerable amount of yellow cards. Only 2 red cards, both from my mouth.
I didn't get any red, but I got a lot of yellows. It was always my goal, but
Honestly, you two might be our best ever never played for the national team players. We could have used you guys.
yeah,
Center mid. Yeah.
you guys did fine with that.
Center
Just forward. Forward.
Center
Yeah.
forward. Center forward.
Not
center
defense.
Mid. Yeah. No. All three of us, to be honest. We'll be up top.
No, I know. Whenever they introduce me sometimes, or they introduce somebody else, and it's like all defense, all that. I'm like, that'll never. That was never me. That'll never be part of the resume. None
Smart.
of us.
But not all defense.
Yeah.
Just another Tuesday for Caitlin Clark. That's the kind of bizarre existence she's living now, where chatting football with Taylor Swift is somehow just natural. Nothing showy, no huge deal, just her reality. And honestly, that might be the wildest part of all. Let's talk about the Taylor Swift moment, because let's be honest, that's the one everyone was wanting to analyze. You've seen that clip, right? Swift leaning in, whispering to Caitlin Clark at the Chiefs playoff game. It went nuclear online. Fans were obsessed, dissecting every frame, trying to guess what two megastars could possibly be saying in that whirlwind of noise. But then Megan Rapinoe just drops the question. Straight up, no sidestepping. And Clark's answer? Almost laughably normal. Turns out she was giving Taylor a crash course in football, explaining the flags, going down the plays, full-on football nerd mode, because somehow even Taylor Swift, who's dating the Travis Kelce, still needs someone to explain what's going on the field. And Clark, the proud Chiefs superfan, was absolutely in her zone. Think about that for a second. She's sitting alongside one of the biggest artists on the planet, casually deciphering the game like it's just another Sun.
Okay. I don't know if you watch Saved by the Bell.
So good.
This might be
This
my
is Goofy
favorite
that you're
one.
talking about. This is Goofy that you're talking about. Goofy Caitlin.
I feel like every game there's always like a new meme of me doing something.
This one is top notch. I don't even know what happened.
I mean,
I
neither.
do.
What game is this?
I have no idea.
Atlanta. Ryan Howard was trying to rough you up.
Oh, is that? I was
this?
like, I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care.
You're like, I'm not scared of you.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
I'm not scared of you.
Who are you?
Yeah,
I did say that.
Oh, it was so good. I remember I was watching this game
tough.
live.
I thought I was tough, and then this is what I looked.
No cameras, no drama, just vibrations. That's the level she's on now. Where hanging out with Taylor Swift and talking football is just routine. Nothing performative, nothing forced. And maybe that's the craziest part, how commonplace the weird has become for Caitlin Clark. The best part? Sue and Megan told her that in real time, she genuinely looked fierce, like she was ready to throw down. But that freeze frame? Yeah, that did her so dirty. Clark couldn't stop laughing, totally owning the fact that every game somehow turns her into a new meme. At least she knows it. She's completely aware she's become a walking, talking meme machine. Then they went into the incredible shot Clark hit over Breanna Stewart. Honestly, one of the wildest moments of the
Honestly,
entire...
the freeze frame doesn't do you justice.
Like that's not fair. I didn't actually look like that, right?
No, you were not that goofy in real time.
This is so good.
In real time, you were like, let's fucking go. Like, I'm right here. My whole face is right here. Freeze frame, you're like, my whole face is right here. Tough.
My hair's all messed up. I just got hit.
Yeah, you hadn't fixed the pony
No.
yet.
Fair season. Clark was on fire that night, just locked in. And then she pulls up for this tremendously contested 3 over Stewart, who, let's be fair, might as well be 8 feet tall with those arms splayed out. Somehow, by the tiniest sliver of space, Clark launched it barely over her fingertips. But what made it unforgettable? Their reactions. Clark immediately started laughing, like she herself couldn't believe it dropped. And Stewart? She was cracking up too. They both had that expression, like, wait, did that actually just happen? It was pure basketball magic, the kind of moment even the players can't fully process in real time. Clark banged down 4 threes in 45 seconds during that stretch, but the one over Stewart? Easily the craziest. You could even spot Sandy Brondello in the background, laughing because everyone in that arena knew they'd just seen something remarkable. And the mutual respect? You don't always see that. It was real. But maybe the funniest part of the conversation? That story about when Clark...
Rim looks big. But yeah, I like that moment I had with Stewie when I made that one over her. Like, I don't know how I made that shot. Like, I barely got it over her fingertips. Like, Stewie's one of the longest players in the league.
It's like 8 feet with her arms. Yeah.
And I just started laughing, and then Stewie was laughing because we were both like, wait, what? How'd that go in? And then
she's
Sandy's
like, what the
laughing.
fuck? You're like, what
Sandy's
the fuck?
laughing behind me.
splayed out on the floor, right at Sue Bird's feet. It was her freshman season. She'd just gotten fouled on a jumper. And, surprise, the refs missed the landing space call. So there she was, face to face with Sue Bird, laid out. And Sue, she utterly froze. Just sat there like, do I help her up or what? Classic. Bird stated she had no notion what to do in that moment. In her brain, it was like, do I help her up? If I do, people will assume I'm playing favorites. If I don't, they'll say I'm being cold. So she just froze, completely stuck, while Clark lay there on the floor, kind of wondering if anyone was going to help her out. Clark said she thought maybe a Seattle fan would step in, or even Bird herself. But no, not even Tommy. Yes, that Tommy, with his characteristic Letterman jacket, because the man obviously never takes it off, did anything. He seemed apprehensive, yet still didn't move. Eventually, Clark got up on her own, something she made a point to stress for anyone listening. The whole thing was kind of humorous, but also telling. It really conveyed exactly how bizarre things can get for older players when someone like Clark, this sudden superstar, is forced into their environment. There's no plan for occasions like that. Just awkward pauses and humorous stories later.
What do I do?
So
I didn't know what to do. I was like, should I help her?
me up.
If I help her, people are gonna be like, why do you help her? If I don't help her, they'll be like, how come you didn't help her?
I was like,
and I'm frozen in time.
I remember what happened. This is my rookie year. Jordan Horston fouled me,
fouled you.
and they didn't call a landing space foul per usual. They never do. They just called a normal common foul.
Burn.
But yeah, I was like, I thought one of the Seattle fans would help me, maybe even you. But
I know I'm not. I vividly remember I froze.
I even have green shoes on, and no one still helped me.
I was like, oh my god.
I was like, I don't even see you down there. Tommy, though, again,
with another Letterman.
His Bird's been in the game forever, but even she didn't know what the correct action was when a superstar ends up down on the floor in front of you. And honestly, that's what made the whole discussion so authentic. Through the entire interview, Clark came out as nothing but authentic, genuine, grounded, just refreshingly herself. Even with all the bustle whirling around her career, the headlines, the constant attention, she's facing great pressure and nonstop criticism. And yet, she's still able to laugh, to joke, to share these things with such ease. But speaking of pressure and scrutiny, there's something more serious brewing behind the scenes. Clark's injury situation? It's starting to sound a lot more concerning than fans first believed. That plantar fasciitis, it's not just a quick fix. Based on what Fever head coach Stephanie White's been discussing in recent interviews, this might be more than just a nagging issue. It's looking like something that could sideline her for longer than anyone hoped. And honestly, the timing of it all couldn't be worse. Worse LY. All of this is emerging just as the league is booming with talk of overseas signings and huge roster moves. Emma Meesman, the Belgian superstar, recently revealed she's joining with the New York Liberty. And honestly, that decision might have just handed them the championship. Meesman had a clear vision for where she wanted to settle. She was seeking for a city that felt like home. And for someone coming from Europe, New York checks every box. It's the most European-feeling city in the U.S., with its walkability, public transit, and that cosmopolitan energy. So when those preferences came out, it was easy to connect the dots. New York made perfect sense. Still, there was considerable confusion when the Liberty also signed Steph Talbot, who had just been cut by the Golden State Valkyries. That threw people off. It sparked rumors that maybe Meesman wasn't heading to New York after all. Maybe she'd end up with the Lynx, or even more unlikely, that the Indiana Fever would somehow pull off a miracle. But now, the picture's very clear. But with Clark probably incapacitated for a time, the concept of the Fever signing Meesman was never realistic. One of Meesman's primary requirements was joining a legit title contender. And sure, if Clark were healthy, maybe Indiana could have made that pitch. But with her battling this injury, that talk never even got off the ground. Meesman is one of the most distinguished names in international women's basketball. She just led Belgium to a Eurobasket title, playing alongside Julie Allemand and Julie Van Loo, both of whom currently suit up for the Sparks. She delivers a unique package: exceptional three-point shooting, true size, and defensive versatility. That kind of combination is valuable in the women's game. And the Liberty? They were already stacked before adding her. Their bench alone could start for most teams in the league. And once Jonquil Jones recovers from her injury, it's lights out. New York isn't simply deep, they're dangerous. Meesman didn't only find a new house. She might have found the missing piece in a championship puzzle. Unstoppable. That's what the Liberty are right now. They're second in speed, first in offensive rating, and hanging around the top defensively too. Even during that mid-season downturn, it wasn't about performance. It was about missing important players and running into a hard stretch of the schedule. Now, adding Meesman to the mix feels just unfair. The Liberty were already the squad to beat, but this takes it to another level. They've practically locked up the 2025 title before the season's even established its rhythm. The depth, the firepower, the playoff experience, it's unrivaled. No squad in the league is built like this. And when you zoom out and look at Caitlin Clark's situation in comparison, it hits even harder. She's the face of a movement. She's altered how people see the league. She's brought in record-breaking attention and income. And now, she's battling an injury that could drastically impair her capacity to perform at the greatest level. The league's brightest star is failing, just as its most loaded club is rising. Meanwhile, the Liberty are stacking talent like they've turned off the salary cap and fired up NBA 2K. And it's frustrating because Clark's impact on the league has been nothing short of seismic. She's brought in waves of new fans, significant sponsors, and a level of excitement that women's basketball hasn't seen before. Her games? Must-watch TV. Her highlights? Instant viral moments. She's inspired real buzz, organic, electric, irrefutable. But here's the hard truth. Injuries don't care about headlines or brand value, or what a player means to the culture. If Clark's plantar fasciitis is as terrible as it seems, then she needs time. Real time. Because rushing back from this kind of injury could turn something manageable into something that lingers, something that reshapes her whole career. The smart play for Indiana? Shut her down for as long as it takes. Even if it costs them a few games now, it's worth it. Clark's long-term health concerns more than any single season, especially when you realize how young she is and just how much greatness still lies ahead. Basketball, she hopefully still has so more of a head in her. And it's important to understand, this injury didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Plantar fasciitis normally accumulates over time, a result of persistent stress and misuse. And when you look at the utterly relentless schedule Clark's been juggling, games, incessant media, promotional events, endless travel, it's really no shock that her body is starting to push back. She's been in go mode ever since her collegiate career blasted into the national spotlight. Straight from March Madness mayhem into the WNBA draft, and immediately into a rookie season packed high with pressure and expectations. She's barely had a minute to breathe, let alone heal. No genuine pause. No time to reset her physique. And maybe this is the message we all needed. Even the athletes who seem superhuman are still just human. Clark might look indestructible when she's lighting up the court, but off it, she's dealing with the same wear and tear, the same restrictions as anyone else. She just hasn't had the luxury of slowing down. The difference is, she's doing all of this under a microscope, with millions of eyes watching, criticizing, and scrutinizing her every action. That's why her conversation with Bird and Rapinoe seemed like such a breath of fresh air. For once, Clark wasn't taking tough media questions, defending colleagues, or breaking down questionable calls. She was just talking hoops, telling stories, laughing with two icons who actually respect what she adds to the game. And honestly, that's the kind of moment that helps fans recognize athletes as people, not just entertainers. Watching Clark poke fun at her own memes, nonchalantly explain the Taylor Swift moment, and joke around with Bird and Rapinoe, it made her feel real, relatable, human, and it softly revealed something deeper about who she is. Someone who doesn't let the spotlight drag her down. Someone who can still find joy, still laugh, even when the strain continues increasing. She's not walking through all this trying to be perfect. She's showing up fully as herself, and that's what genuinely connects. She finds humor in situations that would worry most people out. And honestly, that kind of mental resilience is probably a large part of what's made her so successful. The timing of this interview couldn't have been better either, landing during All-Star Weekend, a time meant to celebrate the game, not drown in drama or controversy. It was a reminder of why Clark became a phenomenon to begin with. She's not just electrifying on the court, she's magnetic off it too. Funny, smart, human. Now, of course, all eyes move back to her injury. That's the storyline dominating everything. How long will she be sidelined? What does this indicate for her growth long term? And can the Fever even stay afloat without their star? Meanwhile, the Liberty are going the other direction, stacking talent like they're attempting to shatter the league. The Meesman signing might have ended the idea of competitive balance before the season even really got going. Other clubs will have to get innovative, retool, maybe even rebuild if they want a shot at knocking New York down. But that's a battle for another day right now. The focus has to be on getting Clark healthy and keeping her that way. The league doesn't need a version of her playing through pain. It needs her at full vigor, doing what she does best, without risking long-term consequences. That interview reminded us of the version of Clark that turned her into a sensation. Fierce, humorous, fully self-aware, and above all, authentic. Hopefully, that's who we'll see again once she's back on the court. Fully recharged, fully herself. Her honesty throughout the interview was exactly what supporters needed, whether she was breaking down football for Taylor Swift or giggling at her own viral memes. Clark reminded us she's not only a generational talent, she's truly amusing. So now it's your time. Drop your favorite Caitlin Clark moment in the comments. Hit that like button if you're liking the WNBA energy, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update from around the league.